Sweet. All right, cool. I'll go over GU because there was a trade that I missed by like 3 minutes earlier that I'm gutted about. But anyway, um, basically at the moment on GU, obviously stepping our way down. If I do actually quite a big outlook on it, we're daily on our bearish, come right up to the top on the daily, and are now starting to step our way back down. So, long-term targets more so we can look to take out the lows, but obviously it's a long way away from doing that. But it's just looking like we're heading in that direction at the moment. We are very, very due for a retracement as we've been having quite strong bearish pushes with not a lot of retracing going on. So yeah, definitely expecting some sort of a retracement, but as we stand right now, it's yeah, looking like we're going to continue bearish. What we had last night, obviously with the news, we did come and have a break of this high. I'm using that as a clear inducement, not as a break, just because of the fact of how it's responded afterwards. We had that inducement, we straight into a break, and then price is starting to step its way down again. So yeah, it may come to this area here. It's a really nice 5 minute point that does have this inducement into it. All this obviously is just very, very internal stuff, but getting that inducement into this mitigation will be quite clean, just expecting some sort of a retracement from here. Overall, they're really looking for price to follow with this momentum at the moment and come and take out this low. It's looking like it's going to be the more probable option. Price obviously can use this as a break of structure. It's just not showing signs of it being a break of structure. If it does, then this point and potentially this point down here would be good areas to buy from. If it's gonna buy, I'd rather be buying from here. I'm very, very hesitant to buy from this point, just given the way the price is moving. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for this to hold if it is going to continue bearish. Basically, with the buy, what I was looking at earlier, very, very simple one. Price came and took this low. So obviously now that we've taken the low, can just simply expect for price to do a retracement before making another lower low. So really just looking to retrace the pullback to the lower high before price continues bearish. It has come into a demand to supply point. Can give a good reaction from there, can definitely sell off from this point. It's got a lot of hesitation there. It's not looking like it wants to. Basically, with the entry though, it was really simple. Break to the upside, break to the downside, break to the upside, enter from here. So really, really clean. Nothing overly complex about that entry at all. The pippage on GU at the moment is really low. It's, yeah, looking like it's just going to melt from here, which I'm going to be really fucking happy if this does melt from here and come take me out at break even. Not in this, obviously, but yeah, I got on when price was about here. So this is actually like, I'm very happy to see this. I hope it fucking melts. Was just going to be targeting 1 to 5. Basically, all I'm looking for with GU leading into the session today, if it does go bullish, looking for price to come and induce this high. If it takes this out, it's more than likely going to take this out. So if it does go up there, just be looking for that sell. That'll work nicely as a fair chance at that point being an inducement. There is some other points way up inside here, but I just don't see price getting all the way up there for where we are now. The other option where we can look to buy from, I'll check that chart in a sec, is this 5 minute point here that I was explaining before. Really clean. It's like 8 pips or whatever, so it meets the pip count really nicely. But yeah, we'll see what it does and go from there. Is there any reason that the 1 minute candles have lots of gaps? Doesn't. Yeah, no clue. No clue. You just got to ignore it. Just ignore it. It's just whatever data Owen is collecting at the moment. IC is looking pretty similar. FXCM is the only one that's looking pretty clean, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, FXCM is still looking quite clean. It's just the data that Owen is collecting at the moment. It's, yeah, it should change. It's, yeah, you just sort of got to ignore the gaps and just follow price. Makes it a little bit trickier, but yeah, who doesn't like an extra challenge with that trading?
Alrighty, AU. We are still in this consolidative range. Obviously, price has not grabbed enough liquidity from the downside and pushed the upside. Now, I do see us long term, like I've said, multiple weeks in a row, taking all of this crap out and going bullish. Reason being is we're not taking heaps of liquidity from the upside and then pushing to the downside. We're kind of just building liquidity in a huge resistance level at the top. But what we're doing to the downside is we're giving retracements, taking liquidity, moving up. I expect price to do the same thing, take liquidity, and move up. So I'll jump down to the 15-minute. I'm not really looking at AU for intraday today anyway. Reacted out of this really shitty 15-minute point here. I don't like any of the points here. You might find we induce this point and possibly just give a reaction to the upside. So something like this, where it just does this and trickles its way down to then buy up like that. So that's a possibility. We could probably try and catch the retracement back up. But with what's happening, it's better off just to wait for price to come down here. Give this inducement here of this huge leg that created equal highs, and then come and really aggressively attack all of this price action up here, which is just absolutely just obliterated this supply point multiple times. So I'll be quite aggressive once we take these lows. It's actually setting up quite nice for a New York trade. So if we can just trickle down, like I said, come down, get our external inducement in New York and a mitigation, we'll be in a really, really prime spot in New York. But come London session, you probably could go for continuation sells once price breaks this low here. I don't see this point as really holding anything. I would be very surprised if it holds. So you could possibly look for a price to come up and give a two-leg out of an area out of the top here. There's not even a 5-minute point. It's pretty filled already. Possibly just induce this high here and then give a two-leg and use that as liquidity just for that retracement. EU, this huge gap we're dealing with. I want the entire thing filled. I treat these gaps as huge institutional points, or huge POIs, or huge IFCs, whatever you like to call them. So for me, I want this gone. More than happy to start looking for buys once we take this low. We have created some 15-minute structure. So exactly the same with AU. We can look to take out this 15-minute low, catch the retracement to then possibly catch the sell to come take that lower price action here. If you look, this gap, like I said, I want all this filled. You've got a nice inducement into a mitigation here. So I'm expecting price to do something like this and trickle its way down like this and take the low down and do that. So that's what I'm expecting just with how price is moving. We didn't take liquidity here. This isn't a high value point, but you can expect a retracement. So we can look at these points here once we take and get into these points just for this retracement, 1 to 3s, 1 to 5s. And then also understand that the selling pressure is really, really high at the moment, that we could actually use that selling pressure for a hedge. So get into a buy to then get into a sell to come take all of this liquidity. Once this liquidity is taken, I do see us pushing to the upside again. As you can see, it's trying really, really hard to. We've created a whole lot of liquidity across the bottom here. I think that's going to go. And then we can look to continue that bullish momentum of this range here. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We've also created a lot of liquidity up the top here. So, I don't like the higher timeframes, but that's where we need to lie at the moment and really understand where price is going, especially with what it's doing. That news last night didn't actually do anything on EU. All it really did is just fill itself, showing that we've got sellers in control at the moment. So ideally aim to sell, but we can catch some retracement buys. I would imagine more into New York tonight. We have got Euro news as well, which is in 2 hours CPI. So, and then we've got our good old mate fucking Powell speaking later. So would not be surprised if the entries come with news taking them. So just stay aware of that.
Wicked. Happy days. Thanks everyone for being on time today as well. That was fucking epic. Good to have a big room.
Beautiful.
Fingers crossed we'll get a trade and we'll go from there. See
Nice.
you all soon.